Before I pass it on, there's 4 people that do picks every week. One of them chose the Eagles. It wasn't the man to my left. It was Kevin Dent, through and through. I believe. So I'm going to swing it to you, Toddy, because you were one of the guys calling me before the game saying, damn, Kev, 1 and 2, huh? Y'all going to New Orleans? What you going to do? Who's going to do stuff? Quinion? You put Cooper DeJean out there? No AJ Brown. What you going to do? So, Toddy, we go to New Orleans, book the Airbnb for our next trip, and then we also put down a dominant performance. What were your thoughts on the Eagles being down?
Crazy. It wasn't a dominant performance. You guys escaped with a victory in New Orleans. Now, this was a game that I was like, okay, I feel like the Saints, they're hot. Eagles are coming off of a loss to Atlanta on primetime on Monday Night Football. So it's like, this is a good game. It's a bad spot for them. AJ Brown's not playing. I get Devontae Smith is, one of the higher paid receivers in the league. Let's kind of figure out and see what that secondary looks like. And I thought your guys' defense showed up. Now, I also did say this could be the game that Derek Carr turns into a frog. He's been riding high, scoring all these points. Shaheed, who scored 0 points in fantasy last week, is catching bombs left and right. AK is running all over the place. The Saints are back. They got a great defense, who I still think the Saints have really good defense. They only gave up 15 points. It's not their fault the quarterback couldn't get the ball in the end zone. So it's like they need something to happen. I thought Sirianni made some very questionable calls, kind of going for it on 4th when they could have just kicked the field goal. Nobody was really scoring. That was a crazy call, I thought. Let's be honest. Saquon saved y'all. He had the 65-yard run. He's been playing out of his ass. He's been playing like the Rents do. And, being able to have that guy who can break it off for 65 yards at any given moment, it helps for sure. I thought Jalen Hurts had a bad pick in the end zone. Now, this has kind of been a reoccurring thing for him week after week. He's going to throw you one. If not one, he's going to throw you 2. Each and every week, Jalen Hurts throwing a pick. So I feel like that's something he's got to work on. But other than that, I thought he played pretty well. Dallas Goedert got wide open on a cross route. Took it 50 yards. That was pretty much the game right there. And C.J. Gardner-Johnson took the liberty of tweeting. Said, y'all favorite cornerback couldn't catch a tight end. I thought that was hilarious. CJ he be going at people. I think he went at Michael Parsons today on Twitter. I'll let y'all kind of dissect whatever that is going on. But I thought the defense played way better than it played in previous weeks. They've been getting up yards like it's nobody's business. I thought the difference was Saquon Barkley. And obviously, another thing that happened in this game, Devontae Smith, he went down with a concussion, I think. Don't know what his status will be like. You guys, I'll leave the Eagle experts to dissect that. But yeah, the Eagles they're 2-1. They escaped with a victory in New Orleans, and they should be feeling good, right?
I, for one, am feeling great. Kaz, I'm going to swing it to you next. Our Philadelphia Eagles go down to New Orleans and beat the Saints 15-12. What were your thoughts?
Yeah. So for the pick'em, I did pick the Saints to win. Not because I believed it, because I was just gambling. I mean, just, again, a very weird 2 weeks of football. I'm like, man, we just lost to the Falcons, bro. Saints out here putting up 45 a game. I'm like, bro, we should win this game. But for some stupid reason, watch us start off 1-2 and have to, dig ourselves out, which if we do, we will. I'm still going to stick to my guns. I think we will win the NFC, whether we start off 1-2 or not. And we ended up getting the win. Now, what I saw was I'm slowly but surely learning who Jalen Hurts really is. And it's not even about the picks. It's about, like, he really is like an adversity handling monster. Like, the dude, this is the second week, or what was it, the first week? Who we had the first week? Green Bay. Starting off with just, two pretty bad picks, and then when it came to closing out the game, he did what he needed to do. All right. Then you talk about the Atlanta Falcons. Definitely not a Jalen Hurts issue. Not talking about that at all. It wasn't a Jalen Hurts issue. Overall, it was play calling. It was a little bit of Hurts, but when it was time to show up, he shows up every time. It's just you can't have a whole season where you have 17 games and you have 17 game-winning drives. That's the recipe for disaster. Nobody can do that. And it just seems like the Eagles and Jalen Hurts keep being put in the same position every time. And more often than not, and his winning record shows, he delivers. All right. So when it comes to this game, yeah, Jalen Hurts had a bad pick. Big whoop. He showed up at the very end, game-winning drive. He was pretty much surgical when he needs to be, and that's what good quarterbacks do. I do agree with what Toddy said. You know, you still got to clean it up. I'm not going to sit around and say, oh, these picks are okay. They're not okay. But at the same time, when you got Saquon Barkley in the backfield, give him the damn ball, bro. Just give him the ball. It opens up so much more for your offense. You know, you got Devonta Smith in the game, who I still think that if he didn't go out, he ends up with 100-plus yards for sure. I think he had like 77 or something like that. I think that he ends up with 100 yards. He might even get in the end zone. But that's besides the point. Jalen Hurts had to do it with nobody. I mean, he had to do it with backup wide receivers in Dallas Goedert. What's that?
White boy. Who's the white boy on y'all team?
Brandon Covey.
Yeah, he was out there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Out there.
Return. That's how you know we down bad.
Out there, you know what I'm saying? Out there getting busy, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm not really sure what Nick Sirianni's plan is with Saquon Barkley. Maybe he's looking for longevity to make a run. But it's like, dude, I've said it back in the day when we had Miles Sanders for like his second year. And not because of who Miles Sanders was in his second year. But I'm like, guys, just run the damn offense through a running back and it'll open up everything else on the outside. We don't need to force Jalen Hurts or whoever, even at the time, like Carson Wentz, to be freaking Peyton Manning, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? We don't need that. It'd be nice, don't get me wrong. But why are we trying to make a guy who has a different dynamic be the guy who's going to just thread the needle, get 350, 4 touchdowns, you know, have a Josh Allen game. All right, Josh Allen's not even going to have a game like he just had last week again. And he played one of the worst teams in the league. You see what I'm saying? So us playing the Saints, that's a good defense. I don't want to call them a dirty defense, but they're a very, very gritty defense, very gritty. In New Orleans, coming off of 2 really good games and seeing the Philadelphia Eagles, good teams find a way to win games, and that's exactly what we did. We had to face a little bit of adversity, but so did they. But at the same time, did they really? Our defense showed the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Derek Carr was in hell. You got Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis showing motherfuckers, hey, Jordan Davis probably saw them tweets. They was dogging Jordan Davis. Was this a bust of a draft pick all over? Because I mean, he hasn't really done much. He's had some here and there stuff since he's been in the league. Next, you know, next game, boom, Jordan Davis getting active. Jalen Carter, probably the best defensive tackle that's been drafted in the last couple of years. Okay, Quinion Mitchell, stats don't lie. I don't care who he's lining up against. Stats do not lie. All right, the guy's going out there playing some good ass football, being thrown to the wolves because Isaiah Rodgers was the starter. He's playing nickel, and since week 1, he's done phenomenal. And then you got Darius Slay out there doing his thing. Reed Blankenship, he's the highest graded safety in the league right now. Y'all probably didn't know that. All right, and then you got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who, I mean, he's just a dog. He out here sticking mugs. If you're not seeing it, bro, you better go back and watch the film. So the defense actually did play very well this last game. The defense, I'm going to stick to. I think that at the end of the season, if they get their shit together and get everybody back healthy, we might end up having a top 5 defense. I won't say it yet, but it's possible. All right, not 1, 2, 3, 4, but I can see us having a top 5 defense if we can keep playing the way that we played. So we held the Saints, who had the highest average of points scored in the game, going into week 3 to, I don't know how many points. I don't really care. Not a lot. Was it 9? What, 10? 10 points? Yeah, and they scored at the very end of the game, so it was 3 points. The Eagles defense showed up. Jalen Hurts was surgical to matter the most. I think that if we get these next couple wins, we're still knocking off some rust. The Eagles will be a true problem. Right now, it's kind of up in the air. We'll be okay because there's a lot of questionable football being played by the entire league besides like 2 teams, which is the Bills and Chiefs. They're the only 2 teams I've seen so far. I'm like, okay, you guys are legit. You know what I'm saying? I can't take it from you. I ain't talking about the goddamn Seahawks. I think they still got some holes somewhere, and I ain't going to talk about the Steelers. All right? Something's going to give at some point. So right now, the entire league is not playing great, and we're still 2-1. So hard-fought game. Good teams find ways to win. It doesn't matter how it looks. Get the W and move on. Birds up.
If you didn't watch the game, You would have thought Jalen Hurts was 0 for 1 with an interception and a fumble. Because that's all they talk about. So let's talk the real. Jalen Hurts, 10th career game-winning drive, most in Philadelphia Eagles history. Down Lane Johnson. Who's Lane Johnson? In his career, we have a 62% win when he's on the field. Without him, 39. Fred Jackson replaces him. Has not played a down in football title since 2021. Tyler Steen, second-year guy out of Alabama, he knows what's up. So our whole right side of our line, brand newbies, got to go out there in the second quarter, do what it do. We talked about Smitty going down. A.J. Brown's already down, so he's down 2 wide receivers. Or some could argue 2 wide receiver ones, you know. Jalen Hurts goes out there and wins us that game. 29-38, 311 yards, 29 rushing. He did what we needed him to do. You pay these guys because in the back of your head, if a situation like this ever occurred, you're the franchise quarterback, you're going to go win us those games. And that's what Jalen Hurts did. When Devontae Smith went down, I looked at my wife Felicity and said, look, we got 3 plays, 2 to Saquon, 1 to Dallas. I don't give a damn. I don't want to see a Jeff Wilson pass. I don't want to see a Caltera. I don't want to see Paris Campbell. 3 plays, divided however you see fit. They combined for 31 touches and 326 yards. Cass, I have been on here preaching since we started this podcast that he's a top 5 tight end, and I've been called the buffoon. I've been called crazy. I was told Kyle Pitts was better than Dallas Goedert. You know, so we're not going to go through there, but Saquon.
Please tell me I didn't say that. Please tell me I did not say that. Did I say that?
No.
Did I say that? Okay, I was saying I'm high on Kyle Pitts this year, but I was like, I don't think I would say that. But I was like, you know, I'm not tripping.
So Saquon Barkley, I told everybody when we got Saquon Barkley, this was going to rejuvenate this offense. And we've seen it, even with our 2 receivers on the field. But without them, he's going to do his thing regardless. 73 touches, most in the NFL. 404 yards, second in the NFL. 5 touchdowns, tied for first. 5.6 yards per carry, 4th in the NFL. So, Kaz, you wondered how we're going to use him? We're going to use him in 13 million different ways. He is going to get it, and he is going to do what we got to do. If it's a receiving pass, if it's a handoff, Saquon Barkley is going to do it. And Toddy said that he won the game for us. Toddy, you're not a diehard, so I don't think you really noticed this. First play of the drive for the Saints. 5 down linemen. For week 1 and week 2, we only rushed 4. Vic heard the noise. He heard what y'all said after the Dirty Birds came and did us the way they did, which should have even been on them because Saquon should have caught it. But let's talk about what it is. 14 pressures. 3rd in the NFL. You know, would have been 2nd if it wasn't for the damn Bills. So until yesterday, it was 2nd in the league.
We recorded yesterday.
94.7% tackle rate, Toddy. That is 3 missed tackles. 40.7% pressure rate. Almost half. Carr was 2 for 6 on play action. No touchdowns for 6 yards. First 2 games, 12 of 17, 202 yards, 3 touchdowns. We held them to 130 passing yards and 89 rushing yards. This was a team that people were saying, we're here. Toddy was its person who said the Saints were going to do this last year. He's like, Kevin, I was a year off. They're here now. Y'all ain't going to be able to get this game done. Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, they're not going to get out there and do it. What am I going to sit here and say about Nick Sirianni? I'm going to give you guys the facts. Last season, 65% on 4th down. 2nd in the NFL. Before Sunday, 75% on 4th down. So when we're in the red zone 4 times on a 4th and 3, hey, Jake, we're not doing this. Because we're coming out and we're going to let you know that y'all just can't fuck with us. And we're going to come and we're going to do it every time. When your defense is playing like that, why not? Who we worried about? Rashid Shaheed? Todd, mentioned he had 0 fantasy points. Taysom Hill? Alvin Kamara was looking like 2020 Alvin Kamara. Not against us. Jalen Carter heard that noise. Best rated defensive tackle that played this weekend. Jordan Davis is making noise. So am I upset with Nick Sirianni? No. I'm going to ride with it every time. Because what those numbers say, more than half of the time we're going to get it. Now look, what have you done for me lately? Like I mentioned, you got 2 brand new guys on the right-hand side. There's no way we're doing the tush push. There is no damn way. We're going to try to catch them off guard. Doesn't work. Pressure from the right side, new guys. I text Cass at the end of the halftime and said, we're going to figure it out. These new guys are going to get up to speed, and we're going to figure it out. And what do? 9:44 on the clock, fourth quarter, down 7-6. No Slay, no Mekhi Becton, no Lane Johnson, no Smitty. We need Jalen to go down and score. He does that. We get the ball back. And who gets this interception? The number 1 rated free safety in the NFL. Reed Blankenship. Y'all be forgetting. You can't say Eagles versus Packers without a Reed Blankenship interception. He did it to Aaron. He did it to Jordan. So what did Derek think? He ain't nothing compared to the other 2. Interception, ball game. Was it ugly? Yes. Was it a little bit of luck? Yes. 9 times out of 10, those guys communicate and they don't run into each other. Let's call it what it is. Dallas Goedert, 11 catches, 170 yards. I love you, brother. I love you. Vic Fangio, you did your job. Jalen Hurts, when we needed you most, you showed up on that interception. If Devontae Smith runs through that route, it's a deflection. But, Tyrann Mathieu just jumped him, and it is what it is. I am happy to see Jalen Hurts taking shots because when you have a defense like that, you can. And there was a guy who played the Rams with none of his weapons and lost. Jalen Hurts gets it done. He is a winner. Nick Sirianni came out and said he's a winner. 77% win rate. He is a winner. That's all I'm going to say on that. The Eagles are serious. I know it's early, and let's be real, everybody. We all watch football. Saquon Barkley could have caught that pass and did a somersault for the first down. It is what it is. We lost the game. We should be coming in here 3-0, stamping that we're one of the best teams up there with the Chiefs and the Bills.